I came across this on the Bad Preacher's YouTube channel, and I highly recommend that if you want to see religion at its worst. Please go look at some of their videos because they've got some of the worst examples of humanity on display there. This time, I'm going to look at Pastor Steven Anderson of the Faithful World Baptist Church, located in beautiful Tempe, Arizona, as he spews his hate-filled rhetoric at his hearty band of followers. It will make you cringe, and if it doesn't, you're a disgusting human being, just like this guy.
You know, this week, this filthy sodomite picture is everywhere, and people are showing this transvestite or transgender or whatever this guy is. You know what I'm talking about? This athlete or whoever he is. I don't know who it is. I'd never even heard of him before this week. Bruce Jenner.
Anderson starts out saying he's never heard of Bruce Jenner before, and I'm not sure if he's trying to be cute or he's just trying to prove his own ignorance, as though that's at all necessary. Okay, granted. Anderson looks like he's a kid, and maybe he's got no sense of history, but Bruce Jenner was a decathlon men's event champion in the 1976 Summer Olympics held in Montreal. That's not really for Anderson because I'm sure he doesn't care, but it will provide a little perspective. While I can't say Jenner has done a lot since, he's been in a couple of bad movies, he's run a couple of companies, but he really hasn't had a life in the spotlight. He certainly was much better known, even before the recent media frenzy, than some pathetic hate-monger in some little building in Tempe, Arizona. I always try to do my homework when it comes to people like this, and almost without exception, you find that these hate-spewing assholes always have these tiny little congregations and virtually no reach whatsoever. In this case, while I can't say exactly how big his congregation might be, it appears that they meet in a strip mall storefront. But I can't imagine that there are many people involved since, at the time I'm making this video, and it's the end of June 2015, and they haven't updated their website since the end of 2014. I don't think this is a big operation. In fact, it strikes me as being very similar to our friends at the Westboro Baptist Church who, despite being very vocal, they've only got 39 members. Likewise, if we're going to stick with religious nutballs, that snake-handling pastor from the Full Gospel Tabernacle in Jesus' Name Church, Jamie Coots, that guy who was killed handling poisonous serpents, well, they've only got a dozen or so members too. Crazy doesn't tend to attract a lot of people. It does make people point and laugh, though.
Has basically mutilated his body, apparently. And you know what? He's being praised by our president. Our President Obama is praising him or praising her. We don't even know what it is. I think that he used the female pronoun about somebody named Bruce and said, you know, oh, such courage. You're so wonderful. You know, our president is praising the wicked here. Okay.
Well, here's a news flash for you, Steve. Bruce changed her name to Caitlyn, so you're not actually calling Bruce a her. You're calling Caitlyn a her. But I suspect you really don't care about that. You've got some good old-fashioned Bible-based hating to do. Don't let reality get in the way. And of course, Obama did come out and praise her for her bravery and courage. Absolutely and rightfully so. With bigots like you running around, anyone who would come out as a transgendered individual has to be brave. But that's because you don't really care about people. You've got your nose buried so deep in that laughably ridiculous book of yours, actually having to deal with the real world and the issues that real people have in it, well, that's completely beyond your capability, isn't it? There's nothing wicked going on here other than you spreading your absurd, embittered rancor at people who aren't living in a religious fantasy land.
And there's just all the, and I mean, this filthy pervert is just like on all these magazine covers and just everywhere, just being crammed down our throat to literally, like hundreds of millions of people, literally hundreds of millions of people are being subjected to looking at a trans freak. Yeah. And this person is just the evangelist of sodomy and filth to the world. And you know what? And people are, and then people are like, "Oh, we need to pray for him that he finds Jesus." I'm going to pray that he dies and goes to hell. Are you serious?
Hey, here's some trivia for you, bigot breath. Caitlyn Jenner is a Christian. In fact, she's a politically conservative Republican. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't know that, nor do you care. I'm sure that as far as you're concerned, anyone who doesn't sit in your pews and nod their head at your hate-filled rhetoric isn't a real Christian, which puts you on the outs with virtually every Christian denomination out there. And no, Caitlyn isn't getting stuffed down your throat. Clearly not, because you pretend as though you've never heard of her before. But hey, if you see something out there that you don't like, here's a clue for you. Don't look at it. Don't pay attention. Change the channel. Go to a different website. Take some responsibility for yourself. Go hide in your pathetic little echo chamber where the scary parts of the real world can't intrude.
Look, I have nothing but hate. When I see a man dressed up as a woman who has mutilated his body to become a woman and saying, hey, look at me, everybody. Look at me, kids. I mean, the kids in America today, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, are seeing this freak.
Then that makes the vast majority of us better than you, because we don't hate you. We don't look at you irrational, illogical, fantasy-deluded Bible thumpers and hate your guts. We pity you. We think you're pathetic. We think you need to be educated in critical thinking, logic, and reason, but we don't hate you. You're not worth hating. She's not bothering any kids either, because guess what? Kids today aren't bothered by that kind of thing. They don't care if people are gay. They don't care if people are transgendered. They don't care if people fall out of traditional gender norms. Why? Because they haven't been raised with your stupid religious mind poison. They know how to think for themselves. That's why more than a third of people under 30 in America identify with no religion, and certainly they sure the hell don't identify with a pack of hate-filled morons in a storefront in Arizona. We don't need to worry about the kids. We need to worry about shitholes like you.
And having their minds perverted and ruined permanently. Listen to me, I hate him with a perfect hatred. Amen. I have no love for this Bruce freak.
Wow, he's really worked up, isn't he? And you know who else gets worked up about things like these? The holy rollers in Washington who scream about how awful homosexuality is right before they're found in a subway public bathroom with their pants around their ankles and a gay prostitute bobbing on their knob. There's that old saying I'm sure you've heard, the more you talk about it, the more it says about you. It's the ones who spend all their time railing against the gays or the transgenders or those with sexual fetishes. Those are the ones you gotta watch. Somebody please keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah. Amen.
I hope he dies today. I hope he dies and goes to hell. He's disgusting. He's filthy. He's reprobate. And I would pray all these prayers from Psalm 69.
69, dudes!
And I would pray all these prayers from Psalm 69. And so, how could you say that? Well, how did God say it?
Yeah.
I'd pray all this in Psalm 69 and Psalm 109 toward him.
Well, what did God say? Where is being transgender mentioned in the Bible even once? It isn't. It does mention cross-dressing in one place, but not changing one's sex. There are places where it says that God made you a particular way, specifically, say, Psalm 139, 13 through 16, but so what? Transgendered people were born the way they are, whether the good pastor wants to admit that or not. Science has shown that gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder actually can be shown within the brain. Science. It works, bitches, unlike the Bible, which is consistently shown to be wrong.
Yeah.
I'd pray all this in Psalm 69 and Psalm 109 toward him. You evil, filthy animal that's destroying the morals of our country, die!
Amen.
Oh, you're hateful. No, I'm loving. I love my children.
Yeah.
I love my country. I love the brotherhood. And I hate these filthy sons of Belial.
Yeah.
They're disgusting and sick. Oh, pray for him. Oh, we need to love him and pray for him. Help him find Jesus. That guy will never find Jesus.
She already has Jesus. She doesn't need your help. She doesn't need your prayers. She doesn't need you or your ridiculous church or your absurd interpretations of the Bible. She's doing just fine on her own, and I'm sure she's happier now than she ever has been before. No thanks to you and your idiotic religion.
The Bible says he's reprobate. The Bible explains why people would lust after other men when they're a man. Because they're reprobate. Because they've been darkened. And you say, well, I'm offended. I don't want to ever. Then get out of here.
Amen.
Because you know what? You're not welcome here. Honestly, nobody who defends that freak is welcome in this church. Amen. Why? Because look around. Look at all the little children. It's not safe to have perverts like you in our church if you're going to defend that filth.
Sure, because churches are so safe because they get rid of all the perverts, right? Oh, wait. Priestly sex abuse is rampant in the Catholic Church. There are examples of molestation in virtually all Christian denominations, not to mention throughout the other major and minor religions on the planet. A church is really unsafe for most children to be because the clergy, especially clergy that's kept from exercising their natural sexual urges, has to turn somewhere, and that somewhere is more often than not small, innocent children who are raised to believe that a man of the cloth can be trusted. And that's just not a good idea.
Get out. You don't belong here. You afraid you're going to lose people? I hope I lose people with this kind of preaching. I hope I lose all the freak, pervert sympathizers. Get out of here. You're destroying America. I'm going to stand up for what's right. I'm going to pray the imprecatory prayers.
I hope you lose people too, and in fact, you are. Religion across the board is failing miserably in America. In fact, the Southern Baptists have been hemorrhaging members for years. 2014 showed the 8th straight year they'd lost membership. Some churches have reported performing 0 baptisms, and overall baptisms are down almost 6% year over year. These people are not doing well. Yes, if you disagree with this idiot's hate-filled Bible thumping, get up. Walk out and realize that you're better than he is. You don't need to hate people because some Bronze Age book of mythology says so. You can be a decent human being. And if you can't, if you're not willing to, then go handle some snakes. Might as well get you the fuck out of the gene pool. Thanks for sticking around. Some of these people are so steeped in their own irrational hatred that it's hard to hear them spew their vile venom from the pulpit, no matter how few people they actually reach. Luckily, the internet allows us to see these people in their natural environment and both criticize them and make fun of them at the same time. They deserve nothing less. They need to have their evil addressed and spread as far as we can. That's why I want everyone to share this video, so people can see the pure and unadulterated evil that some Christian pastors spread. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. It's important to let everyone know what the theists who are hiding their little pits of seething hatred are doing. Go ahead and make yourself heard. See all of you again soon, and please, don't let this kind of behavior go unanswered. We need to show the world that this is just not acceptable.